What's going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and hey, I've got a setup back, a microphone, and a method to make a video. It's been a long time, but that's sort of been a good thing because it gave me some space to really consider what I saw and what I played at E3, and that is why I'm bringing you the 10 games I'm most excited to play after E3 2018. Now, let's be very clear, these aren't the games that I think are the best. These aren't the games that I think will be received the best critically or will sell the best. They're just the games I'm most excited for, and I've got 10 of them. I'm not going to do honorable mentions because that would literally double the list. There were so many fun games and so many experiences that I'm looking forward to, but here are the 10 that stand out the most to me after a week away from the show and what I cannot wait to get in my hands. Now, the only real rule for this list is that the game had to be presented at the show in some sort of substantial capacity. So, a full trailer, hands-on, a demo. It couldn't just be a teaser like a Halo Infinite or a Starfield, even though I'm super stoked to see what Starfield ends up being. I don't know how that plays, so how could I possibly be excited to play? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Kick things off. Number 10 is The Division 2. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of Division 1, and I got bored very quickly, but the gunplay, my friends. I got to play for about 30 minutes, and I loved it because the guns felt so good. There was such impact, such weight. I loved it. I think the graphics are really gorgeous. I think some of the new special weapons are really cool. They've got a guy with a goo gun. You can't go wrong with a goo gun, and I really enjoyed it. Will I dump tons of hours in the final release? I don't know. I hope that they have worked on some of the systems and some of the replayability and some of the loot mechanics that bored me the first time around, and maybe it will be completely a better experience, but the guns alone earn a spot on this list. Number 9 is Gears 5, and yeah, that's Gears 5, not Gears of War 5, completely separate conversation, but interesting nonetheless. I think that trailer did a bomb job of making the game look so exciting. They showed a litany of really cool little moments and different scenarios, different settings, variety, melee weapon, betrayal, mystery, weird monsters that kind of take over other monsters. It looked super great, and I feel like shooter campaigns are not as strong as they used to be, so one that has the potential to be strong from a gameplay perspective, strong from a visual perspective, and maybe even strong from a story perspective is really darn exciting to me. No clue when that one comes out. Probably fall of next year, but I'm pumped, and it's an exclusive for Xbox, which is a rarity, and hopefully it delivers for them. Number 8 for me is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I wish was higher on the list, but for me personally, I wanted more new characters, I wanted more modes, I wanted something, and maybe we'll get more characters between now and December. That's another point of contention. I don't get to play it till December. I wish it was September like we thought. December it is, that's fine, it'll be great. The characters all coming back is cool. I just wanted a little bit more new instead of like a gang gets back together feel. It plays great. It looks great on Switch. I love Ridley and Inkling. If they can bring in at least a few new faces and maybe deliver some new mode or expansion on already existing modes from Smash 4, this would move up a few spots, but right now it sits happily at number 8. Number 7 for me is Super Mario Party, which is blasphemous that it's above Smash, but I've played a lot of Smash in recent years. I have not played a good Mario Party in what feels like forever, and it was a real big part of my childhood. My family would play Mario Party, and it was a great way for us all to interact and have fun with games, because my parents typically didn't play games, and yet they played Mario Party, and my aunts and uncles played Mario Party. Also, I never lost, and that was a lot of fun. And I hope that this one ends up delivering on the nostalgic fun that Mario Party can bring. It's back to the board game style. We don't have goofy cars transporting everyone around together. It looks like it has a really cool roster. It's not full online, but there are mini games online, which should be cool. 80 new ones. They've got that crazy concept where you're connecting 2 switches for sort of this 2v2 team-based double switch action. It's optional. You don't need 2 switches to play, but it looks super cool. If you do have 2 switches or friends that have switched, then you can dive into this extra mode, Toad's Funhouse or whatnot. I think that's going to be really awesome. I hope the game delivers. It's coming out in October. I would love me some good Mario Party because, as I said, it's been a long time. Number 6 is Anthem, and I don't think Anthem had the greatest showing at E3 2018. I feel like it was underwhelming. They didn't really convey much more than, hey, this is what the game is conceptually, here's how it looks and plays, but like, what are we doing moment to moment, and what is the overall structure, and how is it going to work, and how are missions, and how many planets or areas, and what's the loot like, and what's the... Like, they're saying the right things. I wish they would have just showed more, but nonetheless, a game that could captivate me in the way that Destiny has captivated others is super enticing and intriguing, and I think this one with the flying, with the giant enemies. It looks like it would be more up my alley. I hope they are able to deliver stellar gameplay. I'm a little bit worried because the shooting in Destiny is never my complaint. I hope that the loot is good. I hope they find a way to integrate the story mechanics that BioWare is known for in a meaningful way into this world. They said, like, oh, it'll take place in the single-player hubs, and you'll kind of experience those decisions on your own, and then you go do multiplayer out in the world, and that's where the combat takes place. But how much variety is there in these combat missions? How much variety is there in the settings? It's cool that the different characters you can play throughout your playthrough, you're not committed to one class. You get to experience all 4 classes, and I like that, but they're gonna need missions and modes, and they're gonna need stuff and loot and upgrades and things to hold it all together. I'm hopeful. February 22nd, it's pretty soon. I expect to see more between now and then. Hopefully we do, because I still really don't know exactly what that game is. Number 5 is Days Gone, which I think went under the radar. Sony focused on their other exclusives, but Days Gone is still a cool game. Man, it was fun. Probably the most fun demo I played hands-on at the show. I loved the 2 sections I got to play, the stealth section that felt more Last of Us, and then the horde section that felt completely crazy. An obstacle course where I got to decide how I was going to eviscerate 500 to 600 of these freaks. It was very, very cool. I liked it a lot. The game isn't as visually impressive yet as some of the other Sony titles, but I'm jonesing for a third-person shooter, open world, zombie fest that has a different twist and take on the story. I'm not a biker myself by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think it's a cool concept, and I think it will add some interesting elements to that plot as opposed to the traditional gotta save the girl and gotta save our son or gotta stop, like that's been overdone. And not to say that there aren't still interesting things you can do with those tropes, but I'm excited that hopefully, at least at first blush, it looks like this is kind of taking a different turn, and maybe that will deliver a unique experience that can still be super fresh in spite of people feeling like Days Gone is just another zombie game and another riff on sort of the Last of Us formula. I hope they're able to find their own, and from what I played, it still controls great. I like the upgrades. I like the greater emphasis on character progression and survival. I'm super excited. February 22nd, it's a big day. I don't know which game is going to blink first, but I hope it's not Days Gone. Number 4 is Control. This was one of the highlights of E3 2018 for me. It was a surprise. I really like Remedy. I think they are just a few notches away from delivering an absolute epic. Alan Wake was a ton of fun. I love the plot line there, but it had some shortcomings. And then Quantum Break, really cool. They probably bit off more than they could chew with the whole TV show / game idea, but nonetheless, it was executed pretty darn well, and I really like their whole inclusion of sort of like mind powers and weird scenes and freezing of time and going back in time. I don't know. They have a really nice grasp on sci-fi, I feel, and if they can put it all together with Control, which looked amazing, it looks like a fusion of what they've already worked on, and now they're incorporating more open elements and more Metroidvania elements, and they've got this girl in this house and this gun, and it looked really awesome. It kind of had just vibes of Alan Wake, of Quantum Break, and merging those, so maybe third time's the charm for them, and they can deliver something that stands above their previous work and really delivers a standout title from a super cool studio. Number 3 is The Last of Us 2. Now, this is another case where I didn't really like the E3 demo, but man, it looked good. It's so pretty. The animations are so awesome, and it has a ton of intensity. I was shocked by how visceral and gory that Last of Us demo was. I'm very pumped to hear that multiplayer is back in the game. I really liked Last of Us multiplayer. I don't think it's the best multiplayer out there, but it clicked with me, and I thought it was a lot of fun, so I'm excited to return to that good time. Hopefully they can add and improve in the same way that they had with Uncharted multiplayer over the years to deliver an even better experience, and I really am just crossing my fingers that while we saw the human side of this game and the battles between the different factions out there in the forest doing all their dirty work, that we are going to get more types of infected, we're going to get more clickers, we're going to get a lot more of the virus, and see how that has progressed since the first title. I hope it's not focused on humanity. I know that it will be from a plot perspective, but gameplay-wise, like, give us some more crazy creatures to take out. I like Ellie's intensity. I like Ellie's weaponry. I like the look of the game. I like that they are trying to do different things, and I hope that it pans out whenever it comes out. Pretty pumped. Top 2 were very easy for me, and that begins with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I love me some From Software. I think it is bold and daring that they're taking a different route. They're not utilizing the Bloodborne name nor the Dark Souls franchise right now. They're doing something different, and it sounds like mechanically the game is going to be at least a decent departure. It still will have a focus on difficult combat, as you saw from the trailer, but they aren't doing just, oh, this is Dark Souls in another different setting. You saw that with the grappling hook and jumping above the level. It seems like the death mechanic is going to be very different. I don't know what it exactly will turn out to be, but I know that it's going to be quality. They deliver from a mechanic standpoint, and I do not have any fear that they will make something super awesome. And it sounds like it's pretty close, which is really cool as well. I love that trailer. I love the people and the games they've made in the past, and another take, a new take, and heck, maybe even a better take. There is the possibility that this could be their crowning achievement. We don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of love for Dark Souls. There's a lot of love for Bloodborne. And hey, hopefully they're still working on Bloodborne 2 for Sony at some point. But right now, I really like Sekiro. I'm interested to see how they emphasize story this time around and how they use movement and traversal to complement their already great gameplay to deliver something that is difficult, that is awesome, and that is very rewarding. My top pick here blows my mind because I'm shocked that I have it on the list at all, let alone at number 1. Before the show, I was super down on Fallout 76. The idea of an always online Fallout that was reminiscent of ESO and Rust sounded really boring to me, and I was like, I want Starfield or I want a true Fallout. What are you doing? Somehow Todd Howard steps out, conjures up magic, and mesmerizes me with the idea that this could be the game for me. As you probably know, I'm not the biggest fan of big online games. I referenced that when we talked Division 2, but could this be the one that captures my heart and my hours? Anthem, Division 2 have a chance. Fallout 76 could be the one, though, because I really like this concept that you can play with other people, but you still can enjoy it from a single-player side. They have missions and quests and progression and all that. I thought the nuke idea was really, really interesting. I think they are going to deliver a very sound take on merging the traditional single-player AAA game with now this online 2018 vision for how games should be and games as services, and I hope that they do a really great job. I have faith. They claim it's their biggest, best Fallout yet, and it just might be. I've really liked Fallout in the past. It's never transcended into one of my favorite franchises, but here is a chance for them to do as much. I'm a little bummed by the West Virginia setting. It doesn't sound that entertaining to me, but hey, we'll wait and see. The map is massive, and I don't know, like, the things they were saying somehow clicked with me in a way that these online type games and Fallout in general just has not clicked with me in the past. So I can't quite describe the feeling, but I am so pumped to play Fallout 76. I think it looks cool. I'm excited to try and merge my preference for single player with a little bit of friend time and see if I can go out there and enjoy being part of a server. I think some of the ideas they are implementing in terms of like, hey, it's smaller server size, not totally massive. Hey, there is survivability, but it's not like, hey, you're all about building like Rust style. You will be able to build and you will be able to blow up and you will be able to interact and take out, and there are advantages, and you can put bounties on people's heads, and you can nuke these areas and then go in for greater loot. Yet it still seems within the framework of what Bethesda does best, which thus far has been single player. So it's very, very exciting to me. I cannot wait to play it. All these games on the list, cannot wait to play. And as I mentioned, there's plenty of others that I didn't get to. I don't want to go into a 20 game bloated list. I wanted to keep it to 10. But let me know how you feel about these games. Which one on my list are you most excited for after E3 2018? It's nice to have a bit of a break because this list would have been different if I recorded this right after the show. I think you need some time to kind of consider and think and reassess and let the dust settle, because sometimes in the moment, things that seem monumental maybe aren't as massive. So that's my 10. Let me know what you think. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being patient. I appreciate all of you. You know the drill and the situation. I got all my stuff taken, building it back, and we should be on track now. So thanks for being supportive. I love you all very much. Until next time, drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.